we up. Testing, testing, testing. I've got no idea about the audio level. It's completely new audio setup here. So let me know. Too loud, too soft, too whatever. We're up and running. Hello, hello, hello. Usual gang, usual gang. Okay, today is going to be semi-experimental. It's the same setup as we saw before. I'm using a different handycam today, one that will allow me to plug the audio in. And I have prepared the iPad here. I got lots of hints last week from people on how to do this. It turns out that there's a Twitch app for the iPad. And I've got it ready. And after we do our normal short stream here, I'm going to do a little bit of work. After we do the short stream, we're going to shut this one down, give me a 2-3 minute break to run upstairs with the iPad, and then I'm going to try coming online with the iPad and do a guided tour of the Sesaragi studio from the top to the water. if it works. I haven't been able to test it. The normal OBS software has a test mode. You can switch it on test and practice streaming and it doesn't go out to people. But the iPad thing doesn't seem to have that. So anyway, let's do a normal 30-40 minutes work here, and then we'll try the experimental one. The work is not going to be all that interesting. It's the usual thing I do when I'm here in Ome. You know, I can't do my printing. I don't have my carving tools. Don't have a carving bench. So I'm just going to be doing some more of the embossing stuff. And it's only going to take me about 30 minutes or so, I think. 30-40 minutes. So this part of the stream will be short. And then, as I said, we'll grab the iPad and try and see if we can manage a walk around. Just a couple of minutes before I started this morning, I don't want to move the camera and show you, but this wide sky is open right in front of me. You can see the light pouring down on me. And a heron came across and circled around, and he must have come into land just down at the right. And their normal pattern is they will stay there for a while, walk around, look, walk around and look. So if we get lucky this morning, he will come walking below me here and come into view out there. I shouldn't tell you about that. I should just let it happen. If it happens, it'll happen. If it doesn't, it's no disappointment. I'm not going to take the iPad under the water, but whatever. We'll see. We'll see. Somebody says, I want my monthly prints. Are you in Australia, are you? That's the one nut, Australia, New Zealand, the one nut that we can't crack. Yet. Actually, if you've got 5 or 6 or 7 months of stuff built up, it might be okay to FedEx it or DHL it, but I don't know. Okay, let's get going. The print, we saw it a while ago. The print is the 4th one in this year's series. This is a reprint. This is done for us by Kubota-san. What we're doing, this year's print series has been sold out all the way along. We have a waiting list for it. And what we are now doing is we are going back and printing all the back numbers from this year's series, getting ready for January when we are able to open it up again. And this one, I don't know if I'll be able to reach over that far. It's the usual thing. It's carving Hori Kawasaki, our young carver, then Suri Kubota Kenichi. So partway along I'll zoom in and have a look at it, but let me just get a bunch done first. If you see anything walking down there, let me know. The Yamato thing, Yamato here, the Black Cat company, has tied up with a bunch of companies overseas. They've tied up with the UPS for America, and I also think they've tied up with an Australian company. The problem is they are following their laws and regulations very, very carefully, and they are not carrying anything that counts as bijutsuhin, meaning art objects. And we've talked to their local agent here about trying to get our stuff classified as printed matter, but they won't do it. They know us too well. They're worried about insurance claims, and the Yamato UPS tie-up will not take our work. I'm sorry. Also, we're shaking today. Give me a notice. When you see the computer ready to fall off, let me know. Yeah, Karen's on this. I guess she's tried it. They'll ship washi and stuff like that, but they won't ship actual prints. So maybe we can lie, tell them the package is washi. Actually, I was joking with the girl, the lady in the Yamato office here. we were going down their category of stuff that's not permitted. And I was joking with her, look, how about if I call it insatsubutsu, printed matter? She says, Japanese paper. Nice computer stand, 2 rolls of tape. It's too hot here, too hot. Oh, sun's coming out. It's a cloudy day. We're on the edge of a typhoon. There's no danger of the typhoon coming here. It's lashing, I think it's lashing Korea at the moment as we speak. But we are on the far, 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 far edges of it. So the clouds you see, they're sort of in a semicircular pattern. Can I get this in the camera? Now it's too close for me to see. There it is. I think you can see the embossing there. The edge of the print has now been embossed. It's already been embossed by the printer with the name of the print, but now it's got. My daughter and I came to the class. You call it a class. We don't call them classes, but whatever. It's okay. It's just a print party. But yeah, thanks for coming. I know if you did it in February, you were one of the last people ever to get a print party because. Oh, there he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. Not sure about the size. If I were standing out there now, he would probably be up to about my waist or so. I think that's a bit higher than my waist, I think. It's not all that big. You know. When they're flying, they fly, their head is forward, then their neck goes back, and they've got their chest way, way forward when they're flying. And I don't know what this is actually. In my mind, I've been saying heron. They're kind of gray. Is this a gray heron, a blue heron? I don't really know. Looks like I'm going to have to move the camera. clear. Sorry about the jerkiness, it's way zoomed in. It's really difficult here. I guess he's looking, they're not just looking into the water, he's looking at the bank. Did you see him a minute ago? He was intensely focused on something, came closer, then just decided to change his mind. Gonna watch a SpaceX launch or this? I don't know. I gotta get this job done too. So. Oops. He's watching the embankment. I was just too far away now. I'm sorry. I'm almost zoomed at total max. He's now a long way away from here. I'm sorry. I can't get him any closer. I don't think we'll really see any action. That would be fun to see him dip into the water and catch something, but I don't think we'll be lucky enough to catch that. We're at pretty much max zoom there, I'm sorry. When we saw him, had he been there all the time, just I hadn't noticed? Or did he fly down? Did you notice it? Is he still there? I can't see him now in real life. I guess he's in there somewhere. His tail is just sticking out there. Let's see, he might walk out. Just hang on a minute. They usually walk around, so just hang on. He'll come back. Oh, he got something, right? Did he go for something? Sorry for the jerkiness. We're at absolute the end of the zoom here. No, I can get in closer. Look at this. You can still catch a bit more. Come on, Dave, steady. He's like a cat, you know, stalking stuff. Looks just like a cat. Creepy, creepy. He keeps trying to show. That's it. That's the limit of my zoom now. No, I can't. The zoom is now. It's just it's focusing on the leaves and stuff. That's it. That's it. Soka, he was there at the beginning of the stream, really, and I didn't notice it. I'm a pro here. Sorry about that. No, we're done. Let me zoom back out. Just leave it there for a bit and see. You see him come out again. Thank you, sir, for giving us some pleasure there. So he was there at the beginning. Ah, the mic. Okay, sorry. Put the mic back. Yeah. Testing, testing. Mic is now back on my chest. Okay, sorry about that. It's a maple, yes. There's a bunch of maple trees. I don't know what the kind is. Some kind of momiji kai. I don't know. There are maple trees hanging over the river here. They should be trimmed. They are dangerous. Their roots are hurting the embankment, and trees like this should not be hanging over a river. If a typhoon comes, heavy rain breaks a tree, the tree goes down, backs up the water, it's big trouble all the way up. He's still up there to show. He's coming back. He's coming back. No way. I gotta do some work. He's coming back. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? We're going to beat them a bit here. My turn. Yeah, sorry about the fuzzing. We were zoomed in so far and the tripod is a bit sticky, so I'm sorry about the jerkiness in that video. He's come close and I guess you can't see him now, he's behind the computer here. Same thing, he's strolling along, looking. And if I try and move that camera now outside, he will be gone in a flash. There's just no way. And in fact, even if I move too strongly here inside the room, he will be gone. He's just below now, just down here. So I don't know, it's in Japanese just generically sagi. I really don't know what type it is, I'm sorry. To me it looks gray, but maybe that's what they call a blue heron, I don't know. Every now and then we see a white one come by. So there are white ones here, and then there are these. And if I was going to mix the pigment for it, I would be mixing gray with a bit of blue. So maybe this is the one they call a blue heron, I don't know. Gray, somebody's saying gray. As I said, I really don't know. He's doing the thing again, he's stalking. The mother heron, knowing that winter is approaching soon, daily, must feed her young. Whatever. Is there a nest somewhere? She takes it back and feeds the kids, or they're all on their own and she's just feeding herself? I don't know. It's frozen, it's just sitting there. Sorry, but it's a bit selfish. I'm sitting here watching him. You know, people talk about that Attenborough stuff. I have never in my life actually seen one of those. I've never had a TV in the house. I don't go to movies. I've never actually seen that. I've heard about this sort of genre. But I've never actually seen one of those things. It is right there now. Look at this. Sorry about these. Sorry guys, I can't... He's scratching. Oh, that was fun. As he scratched, his hair thing came up. Come on, camera, don't film me now. Shoot, please. What? Gone. Gone. Did you see him take off? Now you see it, now you don't. Oh no, he's still there. He's passing out of my view now. He's going just below, just behind this post. That was fun, you know. When he scratched under his thing, and his you know, the hair thing that herons have came up and stood up. Crest, thank you. Good, well that helps make up for the random boringness of the stream here today. I'm sorry about this. So. Oh, yeah. So, somebody's reminding me here. So, that photograph of the tattooed printer to show. Yes. I should have prepared it and got it ready. What should we do? Should I go upstairs and get it? I'm not going to move right now because actually he's right below and I don't want to sort of scare him off. So give me 5 minutes. Wait till he's past. The heron is gone here. And yeah, remind me again in 5 minutes. I'll go upstairs and grab it. I'm looking for more action out there. Selfish. I can't see out to this side because it's so much jungle. Someone's talking about save up to study Mokuhanga at a place where they can guide me while I do it. And I can't, you know, be against this. That's fine. Studying stuff is cool. But honestly speaking, I don't think you need to save up and whatever. I think you can actually do this. Anybody can do it on their kitchen table at a fun, interesting level. You don't need somebody to guide you. There's lots and lots and lots of information online. Rudimentary tools are okay. You don't need to buy expensive tools. You can get started today on your kitchen table. You've always got questions, and you've got to be able to try and answer the questions yourself through experimentation. I know, even me with 40 years of practice, I'll be doing something, whatever, I'll be doing this today, and partway along, it's not quite working well. What's going wrong? And I got to think, what's going wrong? What can I do? How can I improve this? Even at 40 years of practice, you still have to be aware of this and controlling it. And it's the same thing from day one. Try it, test it, doesn't work, think about how it might be working, rather than asking somebody else to tell you. The printing is so hard. My printing at the beginning was an absolute wet. I had too much water. It was a blurred gray disaster. I read in the book that to make gray, you take black, you put water in it, and I printed it, and it was a murky gray disaster. It's a question of, instead of water, you put some paste in it, you get it blended right, you look at it and try, and look at it and try. And I'm not trying to be negative towards you, but just, you don't need to save up and find a teacher. This is really simple stuff to experiment with. If you want to get this good, then it's, whatever. Okay, shall I go find that book? Can you take care of yourselves for 2 minutes while I run upstairs and get this? 1 minute, 2 minutes. I know exactly where it is on the shelf. Sorry about that. Thank you. Okay, how do we do this? No, that's not going to work because the reflection. I had to go upstairs. I had to go upstairs 2 floors. 2 floors upstairs to the ground level. We're in the second basement. It's a whatever. Okay, Jeff, what I should do then, if I make this window, just a second, let's try this. You want to see my mug, but we can do it this way. It's a magazine. It's the Sun, whatever, it's reversed, it's not reversed. It's the Sun. It was a daily or weekly or something like this, I can't remember. And this is the edition that has highlights of, I can't point, you can read it. It's highlights of Show 26, which is 1951, my birth year, which is why I grabbed it on the bookshelf. And they highlight the burning train in Sakuragicho in Yokohama. I'm not going to show you the picture of that page. Back in these days, they put these magazines out. The news photographers ran to the scenes of disasters, took pictures. And in here, that burning train, there are carbonized bodies and whatever. I'm not going to turn to that page. We're going to go to page 80. It's got kabuki shots. It's got the wedding of the young crown prince. It's got MacArthur stuff. This is the year. This is 1951. MacArthur is still here. There's an occupation on. The emperor is being trundled off to go somewhere, whatever. 1951. It's occupation years. Lots. MacArthur is on every second page of this thing. He going into his car, coming out of his car, doing this, coming in, going out. What's interesting? That's the train wreck. Thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Baseball. Oh, this is a passing interest. They're going to try and find these guys who are still doing the war. So they're trying to pick up the Japanese soldiers who are still fighting the war on these islands out in wherever it was, South Pacific somewhere. Near the Philippines, I guess. The Japanese soldiers were still killing Philippine villagers way into the 1950s. Okay, let's just skip this. Page 80, let's just skip through to it. Okay, the guy's name is Richard Lane. He's gone now. He came in this era to Japan to research ukiyo-e. And here's him. He's folding his kimono, his yukata, with all his textbooks. He's out in the local village here. He's got his yukata with his fan. This is an August photograph. They're playing some game with some locals. And he is studying. He's got an ukiyo-e fan. Across the street, there's a shop that sells tobacco. Anyway, the main thing is, there's our main picture. He's being posed as a printer. And he's holding his barn in a funny way. The paper is dry and wrinkled. I mean, there was no pretension about this. And then the guy in front of him has got he's got shorts. I remembered it as a fundoshi. I'm sorry, he's actually got shorts. Sorry about that. And he's got a glorious, I wish this was color, a glorious koi, carp tattoo running up his back. And I can't see his face, but I'm sure he is sitting there just giggling. And look at the freaking stack of paper in front of him. You tell me how many sheets, 1,000, 2,000, I have no idea. And I really would like to know what it is he's printing, but we can't see enough of it. And there's Mr. Lane himself. I don't know how old he would be at this time. This is 1951. We could work it out. And so somebody's seen this picture. Dave, that's you when you first came to Japan, right? And no, it's not. But and there he is, with his own huge stack of paper. The printing bench is, of course, right down on the floor. Just a chunk of wood. That's a Japanese professional printing bench. Just a chunk of wood on the floor. All day. Look at this guy. Look at his left hand. He is gripping that bench. Power, power, power. But I remembered it as a fundoshi. Interesting. Whatever. Guy's naked, hot summer. Sorry about that. Whatever. No, Lane's gone now. He died a few years ago, and it was actually a very interesting situation. He was living in down in the Kansai somewhere, Osaka or Kyoto or whatever. He lived by himself for many years. He was a gay guy. He never had a family or whatever by himself. And he collected books and scrolls and prints and whatever. And I don't know the situation of his death, whether it was sudden or whatever, or he just kept postponing. But he had never organized what to do with his stuff. And he died what they call intestate. So the ambulance came, there was a smell in the room, the ambulance came, took him away, and the authorities now what do we do with this stuff? And he had no relatives. They tried, they traced, there was no way they could find anything what to do. So it was the city or the prefecture, I don't know what level of government, sent some people in. They did an audit of what was in there. They knew it was interesting, rich, valuable stuff. So it was taken in quotes for preservation, and then it was put out for some kind of auction and sale. And I forget who got it. The Honolulu Academy? I don't remember. I'm sorry. You could, if you look up Richard Lane's Wikipedia page, I guess you'll find it. And it sort of went out, Richard Lane's dead. Oh my God, about his prints. Who's going to get him and whatever. And stunning treasures. He was a really focused collector. He would get good stuff. A wider collector than me. He was an ukiyo-e study, not just woodblock prints. It was Richard Lane. No, Michener died long before this. Michener died in 1996 or 7. This story, Richard Lane dying, was just a few years ago. Well, the Muller collection's a bit different because before he passed away, he arranged for a lot of that himself, of course. Michener too, also he disposed of all his stuff like that many, many, many years before he got old. So, but either Richard Lane postponed it or death came earlier than he'd figured or whatever. I don't know. I corresponded with him a little bit back and forth. We didn't actually, whatever. That's not something I want to talk about online. One day when we're having a beer, we can talk about it, but whatever. He was very much, very, very knowledgeable, but very much an academic. Very much an academic. Those letters after his name were very important to him, and if you didn't have those letters, you weren't important to him, and your voice didn't mean anything. So it's okay. There's all kinds of people. Honolulu, is it the Honolulu Museum of Art, or it's called the Honolulu Academy of Arts, or something like this? I don't know. (2002). It's that long ago. Sorry about that. And somebody has started up a chainsaw. The name changed. Okay, last time I was there, the once I was there, it was the Academy. They were really helpful to me. They're very, very friendly people. My experience with American museums has been almost completely and totally, what can I say, non-existent. But the Honolulu people were friendly. Yeah, that story about Onoda-san, he came out, he had an interesting life after that. He was very much a right-wing fanatic. After he came out and got acclimatized to the Japanese culture, it turned out he didn't like what was happening. These young people these days, they have no guts. You know, they should all committed suicide at the time the Americans came, blah, 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 blah. And he did not have fun here. So he immigrated. He went to Brazil, I think, Sao Paulo, for a while. Had even less fun there, came back. He died. I gave him some massive funeral, and nobody ever talks about the hundreds of Philippine villagers that he killed during those years. But whatever. Leave those maples alone. I'm not going to do anything, but they do, as I said, they are actually a danger to society. They shouldn't be there, and they should be down or at least trimmed. But they are fun. Come November, it's nice. Is it a chainsaw or is it a weed whacker? It's hard to tell. There's no bzzz cutting. I think it's a chainsaw. No, it's a weed whacker. I can hear the squealing and squealing as it hits stones. It's one of those, weed trimmers. That's one of the downsides about this Ome area. We're out of town. There's greenery everywhere. And in this time of the year, getting ready for autumn, people are trimming and cleaning. And it's a daily. Is that a creek? It is indeed a creek. We were looking at the water. In fact, later on in the stream today, we will be walking in this creek. So if you can hang on. It is indeed a creek. Do I make the commute from Ome to Osaka every day? I do not. I make it about 3 times a year. The idea when we set up the Asakusa shop, we had a schedule. It was going to be, I forget what it was. Saturday, Sunday down there, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday here, Thursday down there, Friday, Saturday, whatever. But no, I know during the past 6 years that we've had the shop, I have never worked here in Ome during the 6 years that we've had the shop. My activities moved down there. I have a carving bench in Asakusa, as you know. And I don't do any printing these days anyway at all. So my life just became Asakusa, dropping back to Ome now and then. But now that the shop is closed and our business is in transition, my neighbor, yes, he left this morning at 6:30, 6:32 I guess is his current time. He's got a new little bike too, the sound, I didn't recognize it. He's got a new little scooter, takes him to the station. 6:30 leaving, and depends on the train he gets back, 10:30 coming back. His business is extremely in transition. They're a fashion manufacturer. They design fashion, have it manufactured partly in Japan, partly in China, and then they have their own chain of retail shops, 230 or some, I forget. It's the name Jun, J-U-N. It's the fashion brand. I just know because he said so. And they have all these shops, and now, of course, they're all in the red. They're all underwater. So the company's trying to decide what to do. Scale back, close down, whatever. My thoughts on Abe's resignation, none really, you know. Politics in Japan is really a strange beast, you know. If you were sort of looking at party manifestos and stuff, Abe-san and his group, they're farther to the right of where a person like me would like to be, but there is no functional opposition here in Japan. There's no functional parties on the other side of the political scale. For some reason, and this is not new, this is 40, 50, 60, 70 years, they just have not been able to create a functional alternative type of government here. Having a strongly conservative government made huge sense back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. The country had been destroyed. Build it up, sacrifice individual thoughts to the corporate and social structure. It made a lot of sense. These days, the country is struggling with what kind of governments should be sensible governments. But even having said they're sort of, quote, right-wing, it's not right-wing like over there. It's a conservative type of government. Even though it has been that, Japan always has managed to find a really reasonable balance. There's national health care for everybody. Pensions are holding on, even with the aging society. There's extremely careful levels of the public health system is excellent. The unemployment insurance system is excellent. So it's the kind of even though I said his government has a manifesto that I wouldn't agree with, in actual real practice here on the ground, the people who run Japan are running it in a way not so in opposition to the way I would like to see a country run, you know. It's a strange country. We can say right and left, and they don't quite mean the same things that they do if you're, for example, living in America or somewhere like that. So the conversation is interesting. The conversation is interesting and difficult, you know. They are not accountable. There's any number of scandals, but very few of the scandals deal with personal enrichment. You know, it's not like we've got huge amounts of people digging in the pork and all that kind of stuff. No, nobody thinks about it in terms of left or right in that sense. There is a fringe right wing here, of course, the kind that hates people like me, that wishes I was gone. They're anti-Korean. They have demonstrations. Koreans go home and stuff like that. There is a fringe ultra-right here, which most of society is repelled by. But it exists. It exists, absolutely. We think Japanese can be racist to outcomers that live in Japan. As I said, there is a fringe right. Clearly they exist. But here on the ground, David here has now been here since 1986, which is what, 34, 35 years. The number, let me try and count the number of instances where I have felt, or face-to-face, or blog posts or whatever, active racism or against me. The number of times in that 35 years is... I guess it's zero. I can't remember anything. So the fringe is what it is. But here on the ground, I run my own business. I bought my own house. Nobody bothers me. I get massive publicity. The media loves me. So the fringe can do whatever they want to do. But Japan is an extremely, in practice, if you follow, your little path to get in there, it is an extremely welcoming society. I think the people that use the word microaggressions and stuff, they're the people that get bothered by this. Because, I'll go on the subway. This was cool. When I came out to Ome, I probably told you this story, right? I came out here about 3 weeks ago, and I brought with me my baggage bag. And it still had the airport tag on it from last time I had been overseas, back in February, whatever. So I get on the train at Kanda to come out here in Ome, and I've got my luggage, and it's got a baggage tag that says Haneda. It looks like I've just come back from overseas. So I sit on the train, put this in front of me, and the whole trip, 2 hours to get, 1 hour and a half to get to Ome, people are standing, nobody sat next to me either side. There's a virus, foreigner, he's just come back from overseas. Oh my God, we're going to die if we sit next to him. So yeah, there's, if you think of it as a microaggression, it's a microaggression. I'm thinking, I get to sit by myself. So whatever. They thought I was a tourist, so. So if that kind of stuff bothers you, sitting by yourself on a train and people really don't want to sit next to you, and it happens the other way. Sometimes, this is rare, but it does happen. The train's there's somebody stands up, so I go and sit down, and then 10, 15, 20 seconds later, the lady next to me decides she thinks she'll get off and go and sit in the next car. And I'm like, I did have my shower this morning, lady, and if that bothers you, if you think you're going to get fleas from my beard, then so be it. The problem is not mine, the problem is yours. So yes, there is. Is it racism? You name it, whatever. I don't care. I don't care, There was one, again, I think I've mentioned this before too. This is really early on when I came here. It would have been 80. When was the AIDS scare happening? I forget. 1988, 89, somewhere around there? Way back in the beginning. And that was the thing, because when the AIDS thing was suddenly happening, from a Japanese point of view, it wasn't happening in Japan, it was overseas. It was overseas. So there was this problem that was happening. Overseas people were dying like flies because they were getting this disease that was communicated, whatever. So for a very short window, for a couple of months, people like me were looked on as, oh my God, he's got this thing. And you'd do stuff like, you'd go into the convenience store, get the basket, put it on the counter, get my money ready, and like the girl there, she doesn't want to touch my money. I put it in the thing. She doesn't pick it up. She looks around, what to do? It's a foreigner. I'm going to die from AIDS if I touch his money, And we got that situation for a couple of months, and it started to get a bit funny, and the government started putting up posters. You don't get AIDS from toilet seats. You don't get AIDS from foreigners' money, whatever. They did a sensible public health campaign, and it went back to normal. But for a short time there, people that didn't know the facts of this situation were thinking that foreigners were physically dangerous. So it's okay. I'm not, again, it was a question of ignorance, no big deal. Okay, we've got about 10 or 15 left here. Londoners are rude. What's this? I don't know. Big city people. It's like New Yorkers have this I know, image, right? New Yorkers are supposedly rude. Londoners too. I don't know. No idea. My brother's a Londoner. I'm a Northerner. Ask us about it. So, my brother was born in London, and I was born in Yorkshire. When we lived in London, we lived in Leytonstone. But that was a long, long, long time ago. Actually, on my desktop, I've got the Google Street View of the house we lived in 1950, I guess 1951. So, are you a Yorkshireman? Well, my birth certificate says born in West Riding in Yorkshire. But am I ethnically, thoughtfully a Yorkshireman? No, of course not. I know nothing about the culture beyond what any outsider knows about it. I hear it's about cricket and moors, and it used to be about smoke and dirty towns. It's different now, of course. Leytonstone, yes, that's right, that's right. Accent such as I have is just basically generic Canadian. I grew up on the Canadian prairies, so it was a British quasi-posh. The last years of living in England, I was going to a prep school, and that probably poshed up my accent. I don't think I had a Yorkshire accent. We were living in London, and I went to a prep school, so I probably had a fake poshy accent when I was 5. We got in a boat, went to the Canadian prairies, and I'm dumped into an elementary school there. And whatever posh accent I had would have been scrubbed out of me within days, I imagine. No, it was Edmonton. We went to the boonies, Edmonton, at that time. It was, up there near the Arctic Circle, is where it's described in lots of books. The Canadian city of Edmonton, near the Arctic Circle. That was my parents' life, working down the mill, exactly. Well, the parents before them, they got lucky. Mr. Hitler came along. I can't say this sarcastically, whatever. The war, the Second World War, destroyed the previous British society. And people like my parents, who were born into a mill environment, they left school when they were 12 or 13, went into the mill. They were textile mills where they were. But Hitler came along, the war came along, and that was that. After the war, my parents, there's no way they were going back up there. They emigrated to Canada, and here I am. Okay, the last sheet. We're done with the actual work here today. What time is it? 9:01. We're just about right on time, I think. Because of the, heron episode there, which took some time. Okay, there is the work done. Let's try and zoom in and show you what we actually did. These are prints in our current subscription series that will be available again online from next January. We're building up stock, building up stock, building up stock. This one was printed by Kubota-san, and there you are. It's mirrors and me just don't get along. It's Hori carving Kawasaki and Suri printing Kubota Kenichi. And you recognize the anime that this is taken from, of course. And Kubota-san has done a really, really nice job. This Ichimoji Bokashi at top is really, really, really nice. Okay, so much for the work today. Now for the experiment. And this may work and it may not, and my problem is I have no way to tell while it's going on if it is going to work. Here's what we're going to do. I have an iPad, I have the Twitch app installed on it. I have the Wi-Fi, which I am now going to remove from its socket, and I'm going to put in my pocket. We're going to try. I will shut this stream down first in a minute after I've explained to you. Then there will be a 1, 2, 3 minute gap because I will walk upstairs, go outside, and I will start the Twitch app, try streaming with it. I may be able to see your chat. I may not be able to see your chat. I haven't any idea. See, the stream key is in here. The stream key is ready and loaded in here, ready to go. Actually, it didn't let me put a stream key in. It just simply had me log in, and then it seems to do it. So I will try streaming outside. I will start outside the building. I will come in the front door, and I will show you the Sesaragi studio. People have been asking me for doing this. Someone says you can see the chat. Good. If that's the case, then no problem. We will come in the front door, look around the ground floor, go upstairs, storeroom, and they will go down, blah, 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 and maybe, whatever, we'll go and walk in the river, and I'll finish this off sitting in the river or something. I don't know. But as I said, I don't really know. If you say I can see the chat, then I will know what's going on. If not, then whatever. So I will just stream this to nobody or to anything. It'll take 5-10 minutes, and I will shut it off, and there we are. Other than that, I will be back on Thursday in Asakusa with a normal stream. John Becker asked me to remind him of the name of the restaurant across the street, which is called Soan. And I've already heard him banging the soba this morning. He is up and running and ready to go. Okay, I'm going to shut this down now, and if all goes well, the stream will boot up again in about 2 or 3 minutes. If not, see you Thursday, whatever. Okay, guys, thanks for your patience with this. Let's give it a go. Signing off now. See you maybe in a few minutes.